Hey guys, welcome to this episode of SideQuest, and today I'm going to be talking about my White Whale game. So what is a White Whale game? Basically, it's a game that you've been chasing for years and years that you just haven't been able to track down, collect, get a hold of, or even play. And for me, it is none other than an obscure MMO abandonware PC game called Aliens Online. So for those of you who don't know, Aliens Online was a MMO game where you could either play as the aliens or the Colonial Marines. Basically a deathmatch game. And the idea was, as the aliens, was to protect your hive and take out all the Colonial Marines, and the Colonial Marines, it was your job to take down all the xenomorphs and destroy the hive. And came out in 1998, so of course there was no way I was playing it at that time. I was far too young. But I stumbled upon it many years later in my 10th grade year. And I think I was just searching for retro Aliens games and just happened to stumble upon this one. And I was like, hey, this looks pretty cool, let me try it out. And somebody had basically figured out how to make it a single player game. You had to go in and change 2 small lines of code. So I did that, downloaded the game, and I got to play it, and my mind was blown. It was awesome. I mean, it was just so cool to be able to play as either an alien and take down Marines, or to use all of the Marines' awesome weapons like the pistol, the shotgun, the always reliable M41A pulse rifle, the auto-tracking smart gun, and even the flamethrower to just take down waves of Xenos. And of course you got to play out in different levels, like there was the Hadley's Hope level, there was a very Nostromo-esque level with different vents you could go into, and there was like a mining facility. Basically it all kind of equated to gigantic metal structures or ships that you could roam around, and they all kind of looked like stuff out of Aliens. And what I think I really loved about the game is that every level had a hive in it, and that was just so cool to me, to be able to just going through a level and all of a sudden you can start seeing like the residue of the hive and it starts getting really creepy. And speaking of creepy, the game really did have a good creepy atmosphere, especially late at night with the lights off, because there wasn't really any music, there was just kind of ambiance. And if you alerted a xenomorph by going into a room, they didn't make any noises. So say you alert one, you don't see it, and you start heading out of the room, you could get attacked from behind by an alien that sees you, and it would scare the shit out of you. It was awesome. So the game did kind of work on an atmospheric level. But shortly after getting to play the game, something bad happened. I want to say I was able to play it for like a month, then I go to load up the game one day, and it doesn't work. It crashed on me. And I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just couldn't get the game to work again, which really sucked. And the urge to play the game would come and go from time to time, and I just wasn't able to scratch the itch. I mean, there were games like Aliens Trilogy on the PS1 and the Alien DS game, which I reviewed on the channel. Those kind of helped ease the pain of wanting to play Aliens Online, but they never quite they were never quite all the way there. Fast forward to me being in my first year of college, and I want to say it was around Christmas break. I want to say it was actually the very last day I was at my apartment before heading home for the holidays. And pretty much most of the people I was living with had already gone home for the holidays, so it was just me and my roommate. And he was from Maine, and Maine was getting bombarded with snow at this point, so he was like, I'm not able to go home this holiday season, so I think I'm just going to stay here and bum it out. And since it was my last night there and he was going to be alone for the next 2 weeks, I was like, well, why don't we have a gaming session, to at least keep you company for a while. And a gaming session for us meant he was going to go play on his 60-inch TV in the living room on his PC, while I was going to sit on the couch and play whatever games I wanted to play. And I can vividly remember, he went to go play on his PC, and I was set up in the dining room on my Mac. And all of a sudden, the urge to play Aliens Online came back in full. And I was like, oh my god, maybe I can get Aliens Online running on my computer. But the problem is that it was a Mac, and Aliens Online was a Windows program. So that night, I remember spending, 3 or 4 hours. I dedicated pretty much my entire night to trying to get the game working, and I found out about programs like Wine and Wineskin, which basically allow you to run Windows programs on a Mac. So I get it up, or I get Wineskin, I figure out how to use it, and I get Aliens Online installed. And I click on the logo, and I get the two company logos, the title screen comes up, and it freezes. Ugh. So I turned off my computer, turned it back on, tried again, no luck. I could not get the game to run. It was like, oh, come on. It was within arm's length reach, and I just couldn't get my hands on it. And I did not get to play it that night. And from then on, I would say once or twice a year, that urge to play Aliens Online would come back in full force, and I could just never satisfy it, which was such a shame. But I had those other games on hand to kind of help with the urges. Fast forward all the way to this past year. In July of 2020, I finally break down and buy myself a gaming laptop so that I can start playing some modern games, because there was some stuff I'd missed out over the years that I'd really wanted to play. And I must admit that I was craving to play a ton of Aliens games at the time. It was in full force. That was when I did my Alien DS review and even got to talk about Aliens Colonial Marines in my Bad Games I Love episode. And a thought occurred to me shortly after that. Hey, maybe I can get Aliens Online running on this thing. So I sat down, I re-downloaded the game, and I click on the icon, and lo and behold, the game works. An 8-year-long journey had finally come to an end. I was able to play Aliens Online once more. So how did it hold up? It wasn't that great, honestly. It did not quite live up to the memory I had of it. But honestly, I don't think there was any way it could have. I mean, there was 8 years of build-up, and it was kind of clunky. The alien AI wasn't that great. Certain features like crouching and climbing on ladders didn't work very well. But my rose-colored glasses and nostalgia just couldn't keep me from sort of loving the game. Especially after such a long journey of wanting to play it again. So I think that's going to wrap up this episode of SideQuest on my White Whale games. Let me know if you have some White Whale games that you've been dying to play or just haven't been able to play. Or if you finally got them, did they live up to your expectations? Tell me about it in the comments below. And in the meantime, check out my other SideQuest episodes and my reviews. And until then, I'll see you next time.